Hey everybody, this is Jenny McGarvey, and I am happy to share with you today memory planning in my gold foil dot happy planner. As you can see, I have changed out the cover. I do not have the gold foil dot cover on there, but that is the addition of this planner, and I only make that known so that when you see the interior pictures, you'll understand, since each edition has its own different layout and colors and all that kind of stuff. As you can see, I am flipping through the pages that I've already completed so far in my planner, and you can see how I've incorporated photos onto the pages and then in the pages with the page protectors, which I'm just madly in love with. For someone who scrapbooks, look at that. I used the punch to include that ticket from the NBA game we went to. Amazing. I love it. Anyway, like I said, as a scrapbooker and a person who loves planning and working with planners, this combination, what I call memory planning, is absolutely perfect. I have melded planning and project life into one, and I've created this sort of year in a life album. I can look at the absolute nitty-gritty details of each day thanks to this album, and I am so super excited. I've never been able to figure out a way to really truly get down to our everyday with project life, and this is how I'm doing it. This is totally revolutionizing how I am keeping track. Now, as you can see, this is last week's layout. Let's make that clear. And there were a couple of items that came up later in the week after I had already done my planning. So right now, while I'm thinking about it, I'm going back and just adding those two events. And that's what's so super awesome about this, because I'm not using this as my daily planner, like my messy planner where I put my to-dos and I cross things out and things like that. This stays pretty neat, leaves room for photos. As you can see, there's plenty of little blocks. And then I can add my page protectors as well. It's so awesome. I'm so, so excited about this project. Anyway, this is this week. February 22nd is the Monday, and I'm just going to start. I'm going to get down to business. I'm using all Happy Planner stickers and then washi to decorate this week. And then at the end, you'll see when I do a little bit of decoration, I add a little bit of me and my big ideas stickers for, the photos and that kind of embellishing that stuff. But the majority of the items are from the Happy Planner line, so you should be able to get your hands on those if you see something that you like. This washi tape is so fun. I love the multicolors. It's very candy, taffy, bright. I love it. And having that there, just quite frankly, it makes me really happy. I trim it using a craft knife. You could use a debit card or a gift card or whatever you have. I'm just sitting at my craft space, so I have that knife available to me. It's not important or imperative that you use it. I just do because I have it. Now, the good thing about these stickers, there are so many choices. The bad thing about these stickers is that there's so many choices. So I can't quite narrow it down in like, oh yeah, what am I going to use? So I often have to go through the books to see which sticker will be perfect for each spot. And honestly, there's usually more than one that would work wonderfully. I like to use my Pilot permanent marker on the stickers. They have that glossy sheen, and so like a regular pen wouldn't work. I prefer the tip of this one to the Sharpie, the fine tip, but there's absolutely no reason why you couldn't use that, and I'm sure in some point in the future I will use that as well. So I don't want to limit myself by saying, oh, I only use the Pilot. Now, like I said, I go through the planner and I add all the little appointments, the events, the practices, the games, the birthdays, things like that in these planner spots. It's awesome. Then that naturally leaves little spaces. And those little spaces, I can add a word or two of journaling. I'm not talking about telling the whole story, or little photos or memorabilia if that's applicable, like you saw earlier how I've clipped in that ticket from the NBA game using the punch. That's exactly what I'm talking about here, like a true focused look at our life. Like, it's not looking about, oh, laying on the couch or those sorts of things. It's looking at all of the nitty gritty scheduling things that someday I will never remember, just how busy we were and exactly the events that we were doing at the time. And it's something that I've really been struggling with because I really wanted to do that. And so this is absolutely perfect. And I feel elated that I found this. But so, like I said, so I start the same way that I do my planning. I add the weeks, I go from left to right. I mean, sometimes I'll forget something and I have to go back, but that's not a big deal. As you can see, I can use a little sticker to cover up a mistake that I made while writing. That's what's so awesome about embellishing, adding more stickers or other decor, is that I can cover mistakes up. It's no big deal. So that's what you'll see that I did there for Monday, and trying to add some different things because I could just use all of those little strip stickers and that's it and call it a day, but trying to use different stickers that are available to me to mark events because I don't want it to look all the same. I want to change it up a little bit. I want to make things a little bit different. So that's why using that half circle sticker right there to denote an event is wonderful because it's different. It looks different than the rest of the stickers, and I want things to be changed up a little bit. What's cool about the stickers is that there are so many different choices. So right there you have just an icon sticker. Cool. You have the stickers that are bigger, like at the top where I can write a few different words, like a couple of different things or a reminder or an appointment or something like that. Then you just have the thin little strips where I just write, say baseball, 7 o'clock, or whatever the case may be. So it's so fun to have a whole bunch of different options because, like I said, then my week doesn't have to look exactly the same. It absolutely could. There would be no harm in using only one type of sticker. I just want this to be really interesting because I feel like looking back on this in the future, it'll be so interesting to look at exactly what our life looked like in 2016. And so that's why if I have varied things and changing it up and keeping it interesting, it'll just make it even more fun in the future to look at. Now, the good thing about this week is that since I really sort of stuck with that washi at the top as my inspiration, it's super colorful. And so I'm not limited to one color sticker or a couple of different color stickers because often that is how I plan my weeks is I choose a couple of colors and I sort of stick to that theme. So in this, I have 5 or 6 different colors to choose from and it's just really, really cheerful and it was a lot of fun to plan because I didn't have to only stick with, okay, where are the purple stickers? Let me find one. No, I could absolutely veer out a little bit, use pink and purple and green and whatever fit my fancy that sort of went with that washi tape. Now that book is one of the newer releases this year, the washi tape book, and it's really awesome because it's got a lot of things that are functional, but then it's got a lot of things that are decorative as well. And those stickers have the texture of washi tape, so they are a little bit sheer as opposed to being completely opaque like the other sticker books. So it's, again, it's just a really nice change, a way to make each layout unique and different. And it's, I just love it. I love having more choices. Like I said at the beginning, it can be a little bit hard because there's so many choices, but I like having the opportunity to use whatever feels right at the time. And these are a little bit easier to pull up, and since I'm not really actually very good at getting things straight the first time, that's helpful too. Now, I love to use those tiny little stickers that come in that book in all the different colors to highlight an event. So like here, I stuck one on the left and then I write. Then I'll stick one on the right and then I'll write. Ha ha ha. And then I'll stick another one on the left. So alternating them back and forth between the left and the right side of the box, and it just keeps it a little bit more varied. Now I don't always have to do that because obviously I don't always have 3 things that I need to write in the same box, but for the days that I do, it's kind of a good way to get all the information down that I need to get down. I could do the same thing, and honestly I could probably write with different colored pens or whatever else, but this way helps me sort of differentiate the 3 different events that I need to write in that one box. So just like that, that half of the week is done. It's finished. It's complete. It's very simple because I'm not overthinking the actual planning because this is a broader scope project. Adding the washi to the top, excuse me, so it matches the left side. And like I said, because this is a bigger project, it's not just planning, though it is planning too. I can keep that part of it simple, which inherently at the end of the day, I am a very simple, clean, linear, planner to begin with, but I do add decor and things like that. It's just that in this particular project, I really do like keeping it simple because I'm going to add, a little bit of the tiniest bit of journaling. I'm going to add photos. So that's why this is so cool. Now, one of my favorite things to do is you'll see right here when I have an important event, I will add those little decorative lines and then also maybe even go crazy and add a little bit of highlighter as well. Side note, those are my favorite pens in the whole world to plan with. They are the Kira Rena twin markers. The tip is a felt tip pen, kind of like a flare, actually very similar to a flare. And then the other end is a color coordinated highlighter. Plus they are lightly scented, so they are just really fun. I think I have the package that has 18 different colors and I really do love them. I use them in my planning constantly. I love them. Though I will admit that I used flares for the first time the other day and I do really like those as well. However, they are not lightly scented and they do not have a matching highlighter. So the Kira Arena Twin still wins, in my opinion. I love that Me and My Big Ideas keeps adding new stickers to the Happy Planner lineup. It really just keeps things fresh. It keeps things interesting. We don't have to use the same old stickers over and over again. We get to have new ones. So that's why I am super excited when they come out with a new package, because then I can add something fun. So like there on Thursday, that Thursday sticker, that's one of the newer books, not like a brand new book, but not one of the original ones either. And I really like that a lot because it gives me more to choose from and keep the weeks looking fresh and interesting. Now, the end of the week, it's kind of funny. Saturdays are super busy, but Thursdays and Fridays are typically not. So I have a little bit more room to play around, but it also lends a little bit more room for more photos too. So it's just a really fun way to, this is really just a really fun way to document the things that are going on, because there are a lot of choices and a lot of ways that I can change the way that I plan, like where I put things in each box and stuff, to add room for photos. Now, that washi that I used there on Saturday just to cover up the afternoon section is one of my favorites, and I don't know why. There's nothing specifically like great about it, but for some reason, the color, the half circles, it's kind of got that scallop feel. The whole thing is really great, and I love the way that it looks. And adding that right there is just a fun embellishment because I'm not covering up anything in a broad sense like I did across the top. So just using the little strip of it feels really more like decorating than it does covering up or changing something. Now I will add some of those decorative stickers from that book that has the quotes in it, or the different encouraging phrases and stuff. I like to add a couple of those to each week. It's just a good, fun way to add some cheerfulness, some positivity, an uplifting word or two. And look at that. See, because they're not full box stickers, though there are full box stickers in the package, because those aren't full box stickers, it really doesn't necessarily scream, look at me, look at me. It just sort of goes with the overall week, which I really like. And then again, now we don't have too many open boxes to fill with photos, just enough though, I think. And it'll make it really fun to print the photos and choose what I want to use. Now, as you can see, the planning portion is done. That was so easy. I mean, that was only like, I don't know, not even 30 minutes of just putting together a pretty cute week that, again, admittedly is super simple and not particularly decorated. But if you'll recall, we're going to now add photos and a pocket page in between. And as you can see there, I have printed out my photos. I used my Canon Selfie printer, which I can't say enough good things about. I have only had great success in the 3 or 4 years that I've been using it weekly, if not daily. I print small photos. I print 4x6s. Right there, as you can see, I printed out what could have been 4 photos on one 4x6, but I only actually printed out 6, but it's fine. One of my favorite things about this is to use my circle punch. I love, love, love adding shaped photos to these layouts. It adds a little bit of unexpected charm. It's not the usual, like obviously I can trim them to be 1.5 inches wide and 2 inches tall or whatever the boxes are, but adding the heart or adding the circle just makes it a little bit different. Now again, I try not to make every photo punched out because I don't want it to get ordinary and I don't want it to be like, oh look, there's the girl with the circle photos. But having one or two that are cut out like that, I think is really fun and I like it a lot. And so I absolutely try to do it. Now, I always remember? I'm sure not because I forget most things, but the weeks that I remember, it's super cool. So now I'm just trimming up those photos to get them to fit in my little spots. And again, these are everyday, ordinary photos. So like right there, I have a picture of my kitchen. And then I have a picture of my son who fell asleep on the couch. I have a picture of a baseball scrimmage and a picture of this thing that my kids do on Friday at school. So really, we're just sort of adding a bunch of everyday moments, which is what's in my planner, right? Again, back to the year in the life album. Now, when I punched that heart photo, I punched part of another photo that I had printed that was right next to it. So honestly, all I'm doing on my phone is getting my app that I use to create multiple photos on one 4x6. And I think it might be called PicFrame. It was a free app, I'm sure, or it was $1. I'm pretty cheap. I don't pay a lot for apps. Add some photos and then send them to the printer. It is super simple, and I can then print out all the different sizes that I want onto a 4x6 photo. So that's what I'm doing right there, since I punched part of one of them when I punched that heart photo. And getting that right can be tricky, getting the right sizes for different punches or for different blocks, spaces in your planner. But you know what? I don't worry about it since I have the selfie, because I guess if I sent them out, it would be a much bigger deal if I had punched my friend's photo. But since I can just print them right here and that's exactly what I do, I really give myself a little bit more room for error. Obviously, I don't want to waste photos or anything like that, but it can be difficult to get it right. Now I'm just using my ATG gun to adhere the photos. Again, this is part of being a scrapbooker, that I have a lot of different things at my disposal, and this is one of them. But a good strong adhesive is what you need for this so that these photos don't fall apart. And I am here to tell you, I have been scrapbooking for 14 years, and my old albums where I used weenie little glue sticks, yep, a lot of the photos have come up. So you might think you're using a strong enough adhesive. I am here to tell you, use a strong adhesive. Now I've printed that photo, and the thing I did not mention already is that when I was working on this week, I spilled some Diet Coke on my planner. Not a lot, but enough. So some of the ink ran. So there are a couple of places where I need to cover up where the ink ran. One of them is on that Thursday evening box. Another one is on the other side, I think on maybe it was Wednesday evening. I don't remember because I think I already covered it up. But and definitely over in the notes section down at the bottom, and I think you can see that where it inked. But honestly, I had this cloth right there, so I was able to dry it up pretty quickly. As you can see, I store my extra page protectors right in the back of my planner. They only come in packages of 12, so it's not like, oh, I have so many to store. And I love it because it's right there, handy dandy. I can see what I have left. I can see what I need. I can see if I need to purchase more, which I'm down to actually only a handful, so I do need to go purchase some more. Hopefully my local Michaels will have those in stock. Anyway, I'm just using a couple of pocket page cards that are from me and my big ideas, and adhering my photos directly to the back of that. And so then that's twofold. One, just slip them in, but then those photos have a teeny tiny little mat around the edges, and voila, I mean, it's perfect. So that's why I like to adhere them together. You absolutely don't have to. It's definitely not a rule. I just like to do it. I'm using the page protector that has two 4x6 slots. Now, I can alter those. They don't have to stay that way. I could use the sewing machine or the fuse tool to create whatever configuration I wanted. However, I wanted the 4x6 photos because I had a couple of photos that I really wanted to highlight from this week. So now I'm using those stickers on the left there to embellish my week, to embellish my photos, but then I'm also pulling out a few different me and my big ideas sticker packages. One is just a Mambi Sticks or Mambi Sticks thing. As you can see right there, it says today, and it's got a couple of journaling lines, which again is perfect. I didn't need to write a whole story about it, just a word or two. And in most cases for me, that's all I really need because I have the date, it's in my planner, and I can just say, okay, this is opening day, and that will do it. That will bring the whole thing. So that's really exciting to me, why memory planning is really sort of perfect, because I don't even have to add the date. It's already in my planner right there. So, and then the planner, since it's paper, it lends itself to giving just the tiniest bit of journaling as well. It makes me really super excited. Now I'm also going to embellish the top photo, which is the front photo or the front part of that page. And I'm going to use those Mambi Chips photos. They look like chalkboard. There's a bunch of different fun ones in there. Inspirational, fun, cheerful, which honestly is pretty much how I do it. So I feel really good about that. I'll just stick those both to that right on directly onto that photo, and that's it. It's embellished, it's awesome, it tells the story, and I didn't have to do anything crazy. You know, that's the thing. A lot of people are intimidated by scrapbooking, and I think that this is the perfect way to scrapbook in a really super simple form, because I decorated my planner pages. I added washi, I added stickers, and so the whole thing feels decorated. But this isn't crazy. I mean, this is way less than an hour to plan and to scrapbook this whole week. And I think that most planners would be pretty excited about being able to add these photos as well. Now on the back of this one, I chose a journaling card. So I am just going to give a few sentences about what happened this week. And honestly, I'm just breaking it down like, oh, this is what happened, this is what happened, this is what happened, because it was a super crazy week. And then that's it. It was the whole thing is done. And like I said already, I couldn't be more excited about that because I can still journal. As you can see here, I can still add details, but I don't have to feel like I have to go overboard or anything like that. Now I'm simply adding the journaling with the black Curarina twin pen, and I'm just, like I said already, just writing down the basics of this week because there was a lot going on. But to be perfectly honest, there's a lot going on every week. That's the joy of having 3 school-age kids, is that there's just always something going on. And then when I'm finished with this, I'm going to break out the highlighter portions of these pens, and I'm going to lean on the colors that come in that striped washi tape at the top because the colors are so awesome and they were truly the inspiration for this week. So a dark pink, a light pink, a yellow, all of those. And then I'm just going to highlight the words in the journaling in the corresponding order of the washi tape. So, I mean, again, super simple decoration. I mean, it's literally just highlighting the words, but then it adds this really fun, cheerful, bright, I mean, I guess you can call it embellishment. It's not really though, because it's just adding a little touch of color. So as you can see, I can just highlight with the other end of those pens. Keep in mind they're lightly scented. I know I do not make any money for selling you these pens, but I just really like them a lot, and I think other people probably would too. And going in the same color scheme that the washi tapes uses. And then it's fun, it's cheerful, it's bright, it really draws your eye in, and it did exactly what I wanted it to do. And so that's why this is super fun. So see, that's it, done. Both photos are finished, and there, right there, I pointed it to it. That's where I spilled the Diet Coke and it bled through. So I'm going to cover that up because it really does actually bother me. I typically tend to be pretty laid back, but that just drives me nuts. So again, a black washi tape, add it right there. It looks super, super decorative, but guess what? It's just covering up my mistake, and we're good. It's really, truly that simple. So now I can just go ahead and add my page protector and add my photos, and I am finished with this week. So thank you so much for stopping by and taking a chance to watch my video. I really do appreciate it. If you like it, please leave it a thumbs up. It lets me know you liked it and lets YouTube know too. Thank you.